They called her Trouble, but he saw the bruises she hid and the storm she survived. They said she was trouble long before she ever opened her mouth. It didn't matter what Arya Dawson did, walk too fast, stay too quiet, breathe the wrong way, the label stuck to her like old gum on a shoe. Teachers sighed when she entered a room. Mothers whispered warnings to their kids in grocery store aisles. Students parted around her in the hallway as if she carried some kind of curse. But that afternoon, as the storm rolled in like a monster waking from sleep, someone finally looked past the label. Noah Hale didn't know why he stayed after school that day. Maybe it was boredom, maybe fate, maybe just the universe deciding to finally throw Arya a lifeline. He was helping his English teacher carry boxes of old books to the storage closet when he saw her. The hallway was empty except for her small, solitary figure. Her black hoodie was soaked at the edges from an earlier drizzle, her backpack strap torn, her steps uneven as if each one hurt. Her hair, dark and tangled like a wild river, clung to her cheeks. She looked like a storm walking inside a girl's body. And that's when she stumbled. Not clumsy. Not careless. Not trouble. Just hurt. Her sleeve slipped up when she caught herself on the railing, revealing a bruise so dark it looked like ink pressed into her skin. Noah froze, the box in his hands digging into his ribs. Arya. His voice was quiet, like he was afraid to startle her. She stiffened instantly, like a stray animal that had learned not to trust hands, even the gentle ones. Her eyes darted up, fierce but terrified. What? You're hurt. No, I'm fine. She jerked her sleeve down, covering the bruise like someone hiding a crime scene. Mind your own business. But her voice cracked right in the middle. Just a hairline fracture. But Noah heard it. Because Noah had always been good at hearing what most people ignored. The storm breaks. She spun on her heel and shoved open the school doors. That's when the sky finally burst. Rain slammed down in sheets so heavy it blurred the world into gray. Most students had already raced home. Only Arya walked straight into it, like she didn't deserve shelter, like she didn't believe she had the right to stay dry. Noah dropped the box and rushed out after her. Arya. Wait. She didn't. She kept walking, fast and reckless, her hood still down as the water soaked through her clothes and dripped down her face. She didn't even flinch. When he caught up, she finally stopped, turning slowly toward him. Her hair clung to her cheeks. Her eyes, usually sharp and guarded, were soft now, soft in the way something is right before it breaks. Why are you following me? She whispered. Because you're hurt, he said simply. And it's pouring. You shouldn't be walking alone. She blinked, confusion flickering across her face. Not anger. Not attitude. Confusion. Like no one had ever said something like that to her before. I walk home alone every day, she replied. Rain doesn't change that. It should. Arya swallowed, the muscles in her throat tight. Noah, you don't know me. Trust me, it's better you stay away. She turned again, but he stepped around her, blocking her path, not aggressively, just enough to make her pause. You don't have to tell me anything, he said. But I'm not letting you walk in this storm with a bruise that size. She laughed a hollow, miserable sound. You think this is the worst thing I've walked through. The wind whipped her words away, but Noah caught the meaning. No, this wasn't the worst. Not even close. How the rumors started. Arya Dawson didn't come to Eastwick High until mid-year, barely 3 months earlier. Some kids transferred schools quietly, slipping into new classrooms like ghosts. Arya was not one of them. She arrived with a police escort. That alone was enough to spark a wildfire of rumors. Did she commit a crime? Heard she broke someone's nose. My cousin said she was kicked out of 2 schools. Her mom is in rehab. I bet her dad's in jail. She's a ticking bomb, stay away. None of them knew the truth. None of them even tried. The truth was uglier, darker. The kind of truth people don't whisper about in hallways because they don't believe it could happen in their neat little town. Arya's stepfather, Mason, had found trouble in every bottle he drank. He wore anger like a second skin and directed it at anyone close enough to touch, especially Arya. The night she finally escaped, she'd climbed out the bedroom window at 2 in the morning with nothing but a bruised face, a scraped knee, and a bag that held 2 shirts and a book of poems. She never planned on anyone knowing. She never planned on anyone caring. But whispers made everything heavier. When kids called her, Trouble, they had no idea she'd crawled out of a house that had almost killed her. She carried the storm with her because the storm had never left her alone. Back to the rain. Noah didn't know the truth, not yet, but he sensed it. There are some things you can only recognize if you've seen them before. And Noah had. When he was 10, his older brother, Liam, left home with bruises that matched the shape of their father's temper. Noah remembered the sounds, shouting, glass breaking, a thud that made his mother gasp. He remembered hiding under the kitchen table, wishing someone, anyone, would make it stop. So when he saw the shadows behind Arya's eyes, he recognized them instantly. He stepped closer, holding out his umbrella. A fragile gesture, but it mattered. "Take it," he said. Arya's brows knitted. It's not pity," he interrupted gently. "It's just a damn umbrella." The corner of her mouth twitched. Almost a smile. Almost. "Noah, why do you care?" "Because I've seen this before. Because I know that look. Because no one cared for Liam, and I'll never forget what that cost him." But Noah didn't say any of that. Instead, he said, "Because you look like you need someone to care." Arya's breath hitched. She looked away quickly, blinking hard. The rain wasn't enough to hide the sheen in her eyes. "No one cares," she muttered. "Not really." "I do." 2 words. Soft. Simple. But they hit her like thunder. The first wall cracks. She didn't take the umbrella, not at first. She just stared at it, her hand trembling slightly at her side, as if wanting to reach out but afraid she'd get burned. "No one does something for nothing," she whispered. "No one is kind without wanting something back." Noah shook his head. "That's not true." "It is. In my world, it is." "Well," he said softly, "then welcome to a different world." Arya let out a shaky exhale. A small, broken sound she tried to hide. Lightning flashed behind them, illuminating her face, and for a moment, Noah saw everything she tried to bury. Fear, exhaustion, desperation, and beneath it all, a fragile hope she kept trying to kill. Slowly, she reached out and wrapped her fingers around the umbrella handle. "I don't know how to be around people like you," she admitted. "Good," Noah said with a warm smile. "Then we'll figure it out together." Together. That word made something inside her chest twist painfully. No one had ever used that word with her. Not without hurting her later. But Noah didn't step back. He stepped forward. He opened the umbrella over both of them, not leaning too close, not overwhelming her, just offering real shelter for the first time in a long time. "Come on," he said gently. "I'll walk you home." Arya's body stiffened, panic flashing again. "No, not home." Noah's eyes softened. "Okay. Then wherever you feel safe." Her throat worked as she swallowed hard. "I don't have a safe place." He nodded once, accepting that without pity. Without judgment. "Then we'll walk," he said. "Just walk." And for the first time since he'd met her, she nodded. Quietly. Vulnerably. Like a door opening just an inch. 2 shadows on a rain-soaked street. They walked side by side down the empty road, rain pattering on the umbrella, their shoes splashing through puddles. Noah didn't ask questions. Didn't push. He let silence be a bridge instead of a wall. After a few blocks, Arya's voice broke the quiet. "You're not scared of me." "No," Noah said. "Should I be?" She huffed a breath that was almost a laugh. "Everyone else thinks they should." "You're not scary, Arya." She shrugged. "When you fight back, they call you scary. They call you difficult. They call you trouble." "Maybe they're wrong. Maybe," she whispered. "But people believe what they want. It's easier." "Not for me." She glanced at him, surprise softening her features. "Why not?" "Because I know what it looks like," he said quietly. "When someone is hurting." Arya froze mid-step. Her boots sank a little into the wet ground, water pooling around her. She didn't move. Didn't speak. Her breaths trembled visibly. "You don't know anything about me," she said, not harsh, just scared. "No," he admitted. "But I want to." That made her eyes shine again. Not with pain this time. With something more dangerous. Hope. What Arya never told anyone. For weeks, she'd been surviving, one day to the next. She slept on a mattress on the floor of a distant cousin's house, someone who barely tolerated her presence. She worked part-time at a dingy diner after school. Her grades were slipping. She ate only when she could. She kept to herself. She kept her secrets locked so tightly they sometimes strangled her. She hid her bruises, hid her fear, hid the memories that still clawed at her in the dark. But Noah saw everything she tried so hard to keep invisible. The moment the storm shifted, they reached the old footbridge that crossed the river, just a narrow wooden structure, slick with rain. Arya gripped the railing, her knuckles white. Noah stopped beside her. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded, but her trembling hands betrayed her. He didn't reach for her. Didn't touch her. He simply stood there, matching her breath with his own, grounding her without a single word. After a long moment, she whispered, "Do you ever feel like you're drowning, even when you're not in water?" Noah's heart clenched. "Yes," he said. She looked up at him, startled. "You do." "My brother," he said quietly. "He drowned in our house long before he ever left it." Arya's breath hitched painfully. "What happened to him?" "He never found someone to talk to," Noah said softly. "Not in time." Silence. Heavy. Real. Then Arya whispered, "Thank you for not letting me walk alone today." Noah smiled gently. "You don't have to walk alone anymore." Arya closed her eyes. Let the rain fall. And, for the first time in a long time, let someone stand beside her in the storm without fearing what it would cost.